Hey everyone, welcome to another macro photography video. It is around 5 in the morning and today I've had the opportunity to come out to the Lower Oder Valley National Park here in Germany, which is a really cool place with lots of unique wetland habitats. And I thought I would just come out here and see what I can find for macro photography. Maybe some damselflies if I'm lucky, and whatever else is around this early in the morning. So for a while, I honestly did not think I was going to find anything at all today. I have been out for almost an hour and I pretty much have not seen a single insect. And I think honestly, it's just been a little bit too cold for the past couple of weeks for anything to be really active. But finally, in this patch of grass right here, I've gotten lucky and spotted a few little blue damselflies of some sort. Not one of the really rare species, but still cool to see for me and a cool opportunity to photograph these. So I'm going to see what I can get. So while photographing these, I'm trying to be a little bit creative in two different ways. One is to, rather than just photographing downwards towards the grass, kind of angle upwards and have the damselfly on a blade of grass, something like this. And that way I can get a lot more interesting of a background than just the green grass, which can be a nice effect in some contexts, but often by angling upward like that, you can get the blue sky, or in this case, the sunrise in the background, which I think looks quite nice. This portrait where I used the sunrise as a background is probably my favorite damselfly photo I've ever gotten. I love the color contrast of the blue of the damselfly and the orange of the sunrise, and even though it made the focus stack a pain to work on in post, I think that the backlighting from the sun gives a really cool effect. I also got this one with the blue sky as a background, and while it's also quite nice, I don't think it works as well as the one with the sunrise. Now the other way I'm trying to get a little bit creative is with the angles and compositions I choose, because while damselflies make great subjects for a close-up portrait, you see a lot of close-up portraits of damselflies out there, so I want to try and get a few different shots. And one thing I might try is to get just some interesting wider compositions with the grasses in the foreground or background, but what I'm particularly interested in trying is getting some other close-up detail shots, whether it's just different angles of a portrait, or one shot I really want to try, and I'm going to try this one next, is to get a close-up crop of just the wings of a damselfly, maybe with a nice blue background or something like that. I ended up using the sunrise as a background again here because it creates more contrast than a blue background would, so that the venation of the wing stands out more, and also because the backlighting creates this really pretty sparkle in the out of focus dewdrops in the back. I initially took the photos for a much deeper focus stack here, but while putting together decided I preferred the effect of depth that's created by using only the couple of images necessary to get the frontmost wing in focus. I don't usually photograph flowers, but given how few insects are around today, I may as well give it a go. And there's some really gorgeous pink flowers here that are still covered in the morning dewdrops that I think could make for a nice image. So yeah, really not very many insects around. I think it's just been a little bit too cold for the past couple of weeks for most of them to be active, but it's still been a lovely morning. There's lots of birds singing. I've heard golden orioles and savvy's warblers and thrush nightingale and quails and lots of other things that are a little bit more unusual for me coming from the city. I'm out here in the national park for a couple of BioBlitz events. We're going to lots of different habitats in the national park, so I'll take you along for that as well and just show you what we find. I didn't see very much to photograph at the first few locations, but in the afternoon we were at this gorgeous hilly area which was absolutely full of life. The first thing that really stood out was this patch of military orchids, which was really impressive and definitely the most wild orchids I've seen in one spot. I spent a while taking photos of these and got a variety of different images, starting with the most classic orchid shot. If you look closely at this one, there are a couple of spiders that have made their home in the flowers. Next up is this one with the direct sunlight creating a much more contrasty look. A closer-up shot with the subject in the shade to create really soft lighting and the sun shining on the background, creating a bright, vivid background. And finally, an even closer-up shot where I used the flash and diffuser and got a shot of just a single blossom. The last thing I found to photograph was this pair of blue Longhorn Beetles, and after a whole lot of failed attempts at photographing them, I finally got a good focus stack.